Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Convocation Center here in California, Pennsylvania. Hopes are high right now as we just got done with the women's game, and they managed to beat Seton Hill, who's number 9 ranked in the country, 88-78. My name is Hunter Garman, and joining me today is my good friend and partner in crime, who was the play-by-play announcer for that game, John Sape. John, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Like you said, it was a phenomenal matchup that the women's were able to take down one of the top dogs in the entire country. In Seton Hill, like you said, number 9 ranked team in the country, California, able to put on a really good display on both ends of the court, able to get a big win as they try to push towards the postseason.
Right here in the Convocation Center, we have the men's game coming right up. California currently sitting at 12-10 overall, 7-7 in conference play. Seton Hill not too far in any difference, 13-9 overall, so slightly better overall, but slightly worse conference record at 6-8. Looking at the starters for the games, what do we got?
For your Vulcans, it's been the lineup that we've seen pretty much the entire season. Number 1, Cam Pollock, the 6'2 redshirted junior guard from West Homestead, PA. Number 12, Jordan Buchanan, the 6'4 freshman guard/forward from Pensacola, Florida. Number 13, Donald Whitehead Jr., the 5'10 junior guard from Hermitage, PA. Number 20, Dalman Alexander, the 6'8 sophomore forward from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And finally, number 22, Caden Hanna, the 6'4 senior forward from Murraysville, PA, rounds out the 5 for the Vulcans. And for Seton Hill will be number 11, Kedrick Curtis, the 6'7 sophomore forward from Baltimore, Maryland. Number 20, Adir Ortiz, the 6'9 redshirted junior forward from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Number 22, Ryan Mice, the 6'1 graduate student guard from Bethel Park, PA. Number 23, Gabe Gillespie, the 6'6 junior forward from Crown Point, Indiana. And finally, number 24, Camden Brewer, the 6'2 sophomore guard from York, Pennsylvania, rounds out the 5 for the Griffins.
And as you saw on the screen at one point, these two teams have faced each other before. January 11th, 2025, these two teams squared off. California coming away with the win, 81-73 in the McKenna Center in Greensburg, PA. Looking to try and get that clean sweep of 2-0 against this team this season.
Yeah, California in that game, Cam Polak, 25 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Donald Whitehead Jr., 18 points, 8 assists. And like you said, looking for that clean sweep. California winners of 11 straight games against Seton Hill, looking to make it 12. A win here today would mark, like I said, 12 straight wins. The last time Seton Hill got a win was all the way back in 2019 against California, right here in the Convocation Center. That was a 72-70 victory for Seton Hill on January 21st, 2019. So the Vulcans looking to close off what would be, 6 years straight of beating Seton Hill every single time.
As you can see on your screen there, head coach of the Vulcans, Danny Sankum, in his 7th season. Really done an excellent job of coaching this team so far this season.
He's made them one of the perennial powerhouses inside of the PSAC West, always fighting amongst one of the top spots in the last couple of seasons, has even elevated to being arguably the best team in the PSAC West. So he's done a great job previously at Wheeling. Now here he's been a main staple here for the Vulcans.
And even this season he's done well with all the injuries as the tip-off is up and underway, picked up by the Griffins. That's Ryan Mice, over to Ortiz, back to Mice. Mice on the far side, kicks it down low to Curtis. Curtis on the dribble take, up and good.
A great drive that time by Curtis, who was one of the star players in that game for Seton Hill last time. 13 points, 10 rebounds in that loss to California late last month.
Pollock down low to Alexander, kicks it out to Buchanan. Buchanan back to Hanna, who's going to try 3. Has that one tipped away, picked up by Ortiz. Given dumped off to Mice to bring it up the court for the Griffins. Mice makes a move, tries to dribble inside, dumps it off down low. Bobbled around, fought for, eventually picked up by Buchanan. Swung wide to Pollock. Pollock tried to dump it down low there, but it just gets picked up right to Mice. Mice to Ortiz. Gives it to Brewer. Back to Mice, now down low. It's Giuseppe, and the take is good.
Yeah, Gillespie that time got the friendly roll as he had made a great cut inside. Good job by Mice to find him and able to get the friendly bounce and give Seton Hill a quick 4-0 start.
Alexander gives it to Hannah. Back to Buchanan, who lost it for a moment. Picked up by Whitehead. Whitehead over to Buchanan. Gets it down low to Alexander, who's going to drive in. Quick step back jumper up and good.
And a great move that time by Alexander. Really key to get in and around the basket, but that time found some space behind them. Was able to step back into a nice mid-range two for the stretch man down there.
Curtis gets it out to Brewer. Now back to Mice. Over to Giuseppe. Back to Mice. Mice on the dribble take. Kicks it back out to Brewer for three. In and out, no good. Rebounded by Buchanan. Kicks it to Alexander now. Alexander to Whitehead. Over to Polak. Polak has that one tipped away. Picked up by Caden Hanna. Download Alexander. Quick mid-range two. No good. Rebound fought for. Picked up by Buchanan, and the putback is good.
That's just a grown man play that time by Jordan Buchanan, able to muscle off the defender who's trying to box him out, rip the offensive board away from him, and get the Vulcans back on level terms.
My step back three, no good. Picked up by Alexander. Whitehead now up the court. Kicks it to Buchanan, who tries the long three. Count it, Jordan Buchanan.
We've seen him really step up in a big way in the last couple of games for California. Has really started to establish this outside shot. And a quick 5 points for California, and they have the lead.
Also helps when you have such a player of Buchanan's size who's able to shoot those long shots, as that rebound picked up by Whitehead off the three ball from Ortiz. Whitehead gets to Buchanan, loses it for a moment, picks it back up, swing all the way to Polak, back to Alexander, finds Hannah down low, quick pull-up jumper from Whitehead, in and out, no good. Rebound fought for, eventually picked up by the Griffins.
And again, even though the Vulcans miss the shot, we see them continually try and move the ball around quickly. A team like Seton Hill that likes to play a zone on defense, you got to be able to move the rock really quickly, and you got to be able to knock down your shots.
Down low look there, that was intended for Curtis, but out of bounds, and will stay Griffins basketball as a sub comes in for Ortiz. That's number 14, Brian Bellade,
And something to point out for California, if you look at their bench today, a bit of a light bench. A lot of players went out there to warm up. A lot of them are sick today. As you can see, Coach Bridgerman wearing a mask on the sideline, and one of them being the Vulcan rotational piece, Keandre DeShields.
As that stolen away by Whitehead, and the quick finish up and good. And as you were saying, there's been a sickness going around. It's basically everywhere, and it's affected a little bit of the Vulcan bench.
So DeShields, who played a big factor in the last couple of games for California, won't be available today. So the Vulcans are going to need big minutes out of their starters today.
Big minutes and no fouls. Mice at the top. On the dribble drive. Take is up, no good. Rebounded by Buchanan. Polak swing, finds Hannah for the slam dunk.
And again, it's just great ball movement by the Vulcans. That's just two quick passes down the court, one ahead to Polak and one ahead to Hannah. And Hannah had the breakaway, and you knew what was on his mind.
You could tell exactly as soon as he started taking off down the court. Step through by Curtis, up no good. Rebounded by Buchanan. Buchanan now up the court for the Vulcans. Side's going to slow it down. Kick it to Alexander. Hauls it in. Quick pull-up jumper. Counted. It's good. And a timeout will be called by the Griffins.
California just on a run. That's a 9-0 run in the last couple of minutes. They've really been able to do it on both ends. They've forced Seton Hill into a couple of misses, a couple of mistakes, and we can take a look at the Vulcan leaders this season in statistics. Whitehead Jr., 19.3 points per game, 83 assists on the season, and him and Caden Hanna tied with 21 steals, and the Don playing a little under 36 minutes a game, and then Dalman Alexander, 7.1 boards per game for California. So Donald Whitehead Jr., one of the leading forces in the entirety of the PSAC, just such a great offensive engine who's really been able to not only distribute the ball well to some of the key other players for the Vulcans and Polak and Buchanan, but he's really been able to create his own shot, and he's been able to give the Vulcans a fighting chance this season after, like you mentioned, a couple of injuries to a lot of their star players. Whitehead, has been able to fill that void.
As you said, with a couple of injuries coming into the season, they were actually ranked nationally from the polls to start the season, but a couple of injuries have really plagued the team. But still looking at a over 500 record of 12-10, 7-7 in conference play. So still in the contending for the PSAC West for this team in the postseason, as I believe the top 6 make it and move on.
And California coming off of there are 2 back-to-back big wins against IUP, and then the top dogs in Gannon on Saturday in that game. Whitehead 30 points, Polak 20 points, DeShields off the bench 23. I mean, there was a really 5 players for California, all in double digits. They really were able to fill the score sheet against the Golden Knights on Saturday.
Some new faces for the Griffins coming in. Ortiz gives it to Mice. Mice over to Giuseppe, who takes it himself. No good. Picked up by Alexander. Whitehead now on the break. He's going to let his team get up. Gives it to Buchanan. Back to Whitehead. Some switching going on here. Back to Polak. Polak to Whitehead. Thought about pulling up for 3. Gives it back to Polak. Polak on the dribble drive. Baseline floater, no good. Hannah right there, right place, right time. Put back is good.
I mean, Cam's going to say that was a pass all the way, just floating that one into some space. And like you said, Caden Hannah with some great offensive awareness, just able to get to the spot.
Relayed back to Mice on the drive in. Gives it to Giuseppe. Back to Mice. Kicks it out to Relayed again, who's going to dribble in, and they're going to call a travel.
Yeah, Belay just tried to drive the lane that time, and he got a full head of steam of him, but just tried to deviate his course and stopped his dribble, and you saw his plant foot move. California on a 15-0 run here in the last couple of minutes.
Griffin showing a small amount of pressure to start right now. California easily able to get up the court. Polak gets the screen from Alexander. Quick pull up for 3 off the front of the rim. No good. Nice strong rebound there by Mice. Mice is going to take it himself. Nice take. High off the glass. No good. Rebounded by Hannah. Able to shake off his defender. Gives it to Polak, who's going to take it himself. And a foul. And he'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, the Vulcans had some numbers, but Cam so confident just driving to the lane. Draws the foul up against Ortiz, and Polak, one of the best free throw shooters in the entire country, shooting 92.8%. He's going to make his way to the free throw line.
Polak first shot rattles around and is good. Some more subs come in for Seton Hill. But you Gage Lattimore. Number 24, Camden Brewer comes back in. And also Curtis, I believe, makes his way back into the game as well. Second shot by Polak, up and good.
It's now a 17-point run for California. 17-0 run in the last 5 minutes and 9 seconds.
Brewer looking to get something going, gives it to Lattimore. Lattimore has to get rid of it, gives it to Belade. Curtis over to Lattimore again. Makes a move. Trying to get something going here. Vulcan showing excellent defense. Kicks it back out. 3-ball by Brewers. No good. Rebounded by Buchanan.
Another great defensive possession by the Vulcans, just stopping Seton Hill dead in their tracks every single time and forcing contested shots near the buzzer is going to be a recipe for success.
That ball poked out there by Lattimore. Now on the take. Up and good.
And Seton Hill finally break the run for California. That was 17 straight unanswered points by California in that time. Great read by Lattimore, able to steal that one away.
Quick pull up by Dom and Alexander, and it's good.
Yeah, not one you see really veer outside of the paint, but we've seen him a couple times in that mid-range area really feel comfortable on these shots.
As that pass a little too hot for Lattimore, and it flies out of bounds. It'll be a turnover for the Griffins as number 23, Gabe Giuseppe, comes back in. Whitehead to Alexander at the foul line. Alexander, handoff to Hannah. Hannah has to pick up his dribble. Polak wide open for 3. Off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Lattimore.
And that's a shot that Seton Hill are not going to want to allow all game. Cam Pollock, one of the league's premier sharpshooters, if you give him enough opportunities at it, he's going to knock him down.
That 3 ball from Lattimore, no good. Rebounded by Buchanan. Down low to Hannah. Out to Buchanan. Over to Whitehead. All alone for 3. Off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Belade. Lattimore up the court now for the Griffins. Tries the down low look. Able to get there. But right there to meet him is a couple Vulcans. And the jump ball will be called as Gillespie tries to go up for 2.
And Seton Hill just trying to attack the mismatch that time. Whitehead was underneath with Gillespie and gave Gillespie 6'6". Donald Whitehead Jr. 5'10". 8-inch differential in height, so they tried to take advantage of that, but great recovery defense by the Vulcans. Was able to force the turnover off Gillespie and give the Vulcans the basketball back. But while we have a second, we can take a look at the Seton Hill team leaders this season. Kedrick Curtis, 14 points, 7.5 rebounds, leads the team in both aspects. And then Ryan Mice, 78 assists, 31 steals, and a little less than 33 minutes a game on the season. So a couple of big stars for Seton Hill who've California been able to keep quiet so far.
And so far, so good for California. 19-6 currently the lead with just over 11 minutes remaining in the first half. California, as you said, able to keep quiet these stars for Seton Hill. I mean, as we said, both teams in around the same area. I believe California is just above them in the PSAC West. We'll take a look at the standings later on in the game, but right now California doing an excellent job at just controlling the game, able to keep the Seton Hill offense quiet down and able to exploit the defense.
And as we mentioned a couple of times in recent games, any single game like this is huge towards the conference standings when everybody is so close in terms of the games, like not only games played, but games won. Just like I know at one point it was between second and fourth place. It was a three game gap, and so any single win really matters. So if California is able to get 3 wins on the bounce against 3 really good teams in IUP, Gannon, and Seton Hill here, they're going to be primed for a great stretch down the road towards the postseason.
Alexander now in the paint, hands it to Pollock. Pollock on the take, kicks it back out to Buchanan, who's going to try for 3 off the back of the rim. No good. Picked up there by Belade. Belade is going to take it himself, kicks it back out to Curtis. Over to Brewer. Brewer over to Lattimore. Gets the screen. Lattimore on the dribble take. Down low to Curtis on the reverse-handed, and it's good. Great ball movement that time, and a great positioning underneath the basket where Curtis was, and he was just able to shake away from a couple of defenders and find himself in some good space for an easy shot. Alexander on the elbow, gives it to Whitehead. Step back, thought about the 3, doesn't take it. Gets to Alexander. Down low to Hannah. Quick mid-range 2, no good. Rebounded by Brewer.
And again, Seton Hill play this defensive zone, which is not something that you really see at all against any teams in the PSAC. So California just trying to find the soft spots in the zone, just try to find somewhere they can settle down, take some comfortable shots with it. They've missed the last couple.
Lattimore, quick long-range 2, no good. Rebounded by Buchanan. Give it to Whitehead. Brings it up. Cam Pollock thought about pulling the trigger there on the quick 3. Kicks it back to him. Is going to pull the trigger this time. Off the side, no good. Rebounded there by Belade.
And a player where such a confidence player, if you see the first couple go through, you're going to be in for a long night. But California and Pollock just unable to get on the mark in the last couple of shots with him. Pollock now 0 for 4 from the field. Down low look there as the bucket counts. That's Gillespie going to the line for a 3-point play. Yeah, just a strong drive that time by Gillespie. Able to take the contact and able to finish. Buchanan will pick up his first. Duncan Moy will come in for California, and a ton of substitutes here for Seton Hill. But I do want to make a quick point. Jordan Buchanan in this game already. 7 rebounds already in this game. And we're a little over 10 minutes played. 5.7 boards for Buchanan. 3-point shot by Gillespie is no good. Poked out of bounds by Ortiz.
You said Duncan Moy coming in for California, so one of the few pieces that they have on that bench that they're able to use has come in for now. Pollock to Whitehead, back to Buchanan. Into Pollock in the middle, finds Caden Hanna for the slam.
And again, it's to break a press or to break a zone like this, you're going to have some quick ball movement. And you saw just some one-touch passing between a couple of members of the Vulcans, and Pollock found himself inside. Nice touch pass to Hanna, and an offensive foul against Gillespie as Pollock takes the charge.
That's his first, the team's second of the quarter for Gillespie.
And after a game like Saturday, the fouls pretty quiet so far. Knock on wood.
I was going to say let's try and keep it that way. If you were around last time, there were
53 in the entirety of the game.
Yep, it was whistle happy. Hanna on the take, kicks it out to Buchanan. Back down low to Hanna. Hanna out to Moy, who's going to try the long range two. No good. Picked up there by Skleventis, excuse me. Kicks it down low to Gillespie. Back to Skleventis. Down low look there to Gillespie, and the take's up and good.
That's a couple of possessions on defense where Gillespie's really been able to get away from the Vulcan defensive marker, and he's found himself in some prime positions underneath the basket and made some easy buckets. California on a bit of a lull offensively.
Moy thought about that three. Quick up by Buchanan is fouled, and he'll go to the line for two.
And again, when you see these types of zones played, there's going to be somebody that's going to have a little bit of space in around that free throw line. So you've seen a couple of times a Vulcan player head directly there, and that time it was Buchanan who received the pass and immediately felt that there was not a close enough defender behind him to spin around, take the jump shot, but got fouled.
First shot by Buchanan's up and good as Eli Brooks checks into the game for California, and Curtis comes back in for Gillespie. And that second shot by Buchanan is up and good.
And Buchanan already 7 points, 7 rebounds.
Curtis kicks it out to Lattimore, I believe, on the driving baseline. No good. Tried to get it to Ortiz, able to lose it. Picked up by Skleventis. Pulls up for three. Counted. It's good.
Just a pure jump shot that time from Skleventis. Just found himself with a little bit of space right at the top of the key, and Seton Hill looking to claw things back here after that three makes it an 8-point game.
Brooks kicks it out to Moy. Has Pollock all alone in the corner. Count it, Cam Pollock.
And like I mentioned, if you can't leave him open for very long, as that time all alone in the corner, and Moy nearly passed it away from him, but great decision-making by Moy. Finds Pollock wide open in the corner, and the Vulcans' star guard able to knock down his first three.
Curtis takes the charge. That'll be his foul, first foul of the game. The team's fourth already this half.
And Buchanan doing a lot of the dirty work that time underneath. Just takes the blow straight to the chest, and Curtis picks up his first.
Be the 8-minute media timeout at the stoppage.
And while we have a second, we could take a look at the PSAC West standings. Sitting atop is Gannon, who the Vulcans, like I just mentioned, were able to get a big win against on Saturday, followed closely by Edinburgh. And the Vulcans now, after the last two games, find themselves in third place ahead of Slippery Rock. Then after them, IUP, UPJ, Seton Hill, and Clarion. But Edinburgh in second place at 8-6. Clarion in last place in the conference at 5-9. So again, a 3-game gap between second place and last place in the PSAC. So any single win matters, as after today's game, California take on the team right below them in the Rock this Saturday.
As we keep saying, the PSAC West being so close this year in terms of men's that any win can move you up one or two spots and any loss can move you down one or two spots. So California trying to look to take down this win before they travel to Slippery Rock next week, as you said.
A loss here for today for California could drop them 3 spots if Slippery Rock are able to get a win, or IUP or anybody. Like I said, it's so close, it's so packed in between second place and last place that any win could be detrimental to your season, or any loss, can be detrimental to the season. The win would be huge, but California off to a great start here.
Vulcan ball on their side, moving left to right as we see it. Whitehead over to Buchanan. Tries to get it down low to Moy. Has that one tipped away. Picked up by Brewer, who now brings it up the court for the Griffins. Over to Mice. Mice over to Curtis. Curtis on the take. No good. Rebounded by Jordan Buchanan. Who else? Whitehead now. Kicks it to Buchanan. Back to Whitehead. Back to Buchanan. Down low to Brooks. Finds or tries to find Moy on the cut, but has that tipped away. Mice now on the take, and the quick layup up and good.
California getting a little bit predictable on offense. Like you said, you're just trying to find these soft spots in the zones, but Seton Hill really quick to collapse, forces a couple of turnovers, and Mice able to just sprint down the court all alone.
Pollock, quick pull-up 3. Count it, Cam Pollock.
All it takes is the first one to go, and once you get one in there, Pollock is so confident as a player, just will continue to take shot after shot. Missed the first 3, now made the last 2.
Mice on the dribble drive, kicks it back out to Lattimore, who's going to pull up for 3. Count it, it's good. Gage Lattimore for 3. The Don pulls up for 3. Count it, Donald Whitehead Jr.
They're just going basket for basket right now, where both teams have been finding their groove offensively in the last couple of possessions.
Mice kicks it over to Brewer, to Curtis, over to, I'd like to apologize, it's actually Iadamore, back to Mice, down to Ortiz, back to Mice. Mice kicks it out to Curtis on the near side. Nice spin move inside, but foul will be called on Pollock as Curtis tries to go up, and he'll head to the line for 2.
And Curtis, such a big guy, 6'7", 210, working up against Cam Pollock, 6'2", 185. So just using that size to your advantage, just able to get positioning inside, spinning away, and Cam Pollock has to foul him to prevent the easy-made basket.
Kendrick Curtis now at the line for 2. First shot is up and good. Curtis shooting about 73% from the free throw line on the season. Makes his first.
Caden Hanna and Dalman Alexander check back in for California.
Second shot by Curtis, up. Rolls around, no good. Rebounded by Alexander. Griffin showing a little bit of uptight defense. As Whitehead kicks it to Buchanan. Gets it down low to Alexander. Over to Hanna underneath the net. Kicks it back out to Pollock. Pollock trying to make some moves, create a separation. Thought about the shot, doesn't take it. Kicks it to Hanna. Hanna is going to drive the baseline. Quick step back jumper off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Ortiz. Quick throw to Mice to bring it up the court for the Griffins. Mice over to Giuseppe. Back to Brewer. Over to Mice. He's going to make a stutter step. Floater off the back of the glass and good.
Mice just so shifty in possession, just able to dump it off real quick and reposition and able to get it to a spot inside. And it's a nice floater finish off the glass.
Donald Whitehead dumps it down low to Dalman Alexander, who slams it home.
And that is a textbook 101 pick and roll. He said Alexander sets the screen, Whitehead able to dish it inside, and just you're not going to be able to stop Alexander when he's got a full head of steam right at the basket.
Curtis working against Alexander, kicks it to Ortiz. Quick floater off the back of the rim, no good. Foul called. Will be against the Griffins.
Gillespie called for the foul underneath as he was pushing on the back of Buchanan as they were both trying to fight for that rebound.
We're going to send it to a commercial break. You're listening to CUTV, CTV Sports 1, the PSAC Digital Network, and 91.9 FM, WCAO.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates the athletic and academic excellence of its student athletes. Last year, over 4,000 achieved at least a 3.25 GPA to earn recognition as a PSAC Scholar Athlete. Athletically, over 70 PSAC teams qualified for the NCAA championships. Champions on the field, champions in the classroom, making the PSAC proud.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Convocation Center, where California finds themselves at a 34-23 lead with 4 minutes remaining in the first half. And we've seen some pretty good basketball from both teams, to be fair, albeit Seton Hill still finds himself down by 11.
Yeah, California just being really efficient. Like I said, to beat a team that plays some heavy zone, you have to knock down your shots, and California has done exactly that. 13 for 25 from the field, 4 for 10 from 3, have made all of their free throws. And the rebounding game has been a big discrepancy. California, 16 rebounds to Seton Hill's 10, 2 offensive rebounds for the Vulcans, 14 defensive rebounds. They've been able to create some second chance points, and they forced Seton Hill into 7 turnovers already compared to the Vulcans' 4. And off of that, California has got a couple of points as well, so they've been able to make Seton Hill force Seton Hill into a couple of early mistakes.
As the Griffins start to show a little bit of pressure defense, just trying to get some points on the board before the end of half. Whitehead tries to get things set here. Griffins seem to be playing a little bit of man here. Buchanan on the near side for 3, off the side, no good. Rebound tipped away, foul will be called. And I believe they're going to get Caden Hanna on that foul.
Yeah, similar to the foul we just saw at the other end of the court, where the Griffins had a couple of players with some decent box outs underneath, and Caden Hanna just trying to go over the back, just trying to grab that rebound, get an extra possession fighting for California, but gets called for the foul. And again, it's one where California needs to be careful. They've only had 3 fouls in this half, but they have a light bench, so they can't afford to get into some foul trouble in this game.
That's Iadamore there, driving in, gets the layup around Buchanan, up and good.
Yeah, just somehow, some way, he was up in the air for so long and just scooped it with the right hand. Great finish that time by Iadamore.
Pollock to Buchanan. Seton Hill bench not happy about something. Whitehead, step back, gives it to Hanna, gives it to Buchanan on the take. No bucket, and a charge will be called against Buchanan as Ortiz takes the contact.
That's going to be his second, but I think what the Seton Hill bench was trying to convey is Polak was sprinting towards the corner. They're just trying to make sure Seton Hill does not let him open, does not give him enough space. And since that's going to be Buchanan's second foul, California looking to err on the side of caution, take him out. Duncan Moy will come back in for the Vulcans.
Brewer over to Iadamore. Now working against Alexander, kicks it to Ortiz. Back out to Brewer, makes Hanna miss. Quick floater, up and good.
Yeah, and you have to respect Brewer from behind the arc, and that time with he was able to sell the pump fake, got Hanna to bite, and another great floater.
Alexander gives it to Hanna, who's going to drive in, decides to kick it back out to Pollock, thought about the shot. Pollock driving in against Ortiz, able to go up over top for 2.
Yeah, it looks like he was just able to get a second effort as he was in the air. He was able to jump again, just the video game double jump that time from Cam Pollock, able to finish, and a foul call on the floor.
Coach Sankum trying to argue some cases here, as understandably upset a little bit, trying to just keep his team on the floor. as you said, a very shallow bench here that Sankum is working with. It's going to go against Donald Whitehead. It's his first, team's 5th of the half, with less than 2 minutes remaining. Inbound to Ortiz. Ortiz going to give it to Curtis. Curtis kicks it out to Iadamore. Iadamore on the drive, loses it for a moment, gives it to Pollock. Pollock gives it to Whitehead, who's going to on the take, but gets fouled on the way up.
And maybe a bit unfortunate that time for Gillespie. Met Whitehead up at the apex and looked like maybe Whitehead just lost the handle on it. And that's going to be Gillespie's 3rd foul already. So you're probably going to see him get substituted out of here. And a bit unfortunate that the Seton Hill starter is going to miss out on a large chunk of the second half as he's already in foul trouble.
Whitehead's first foul shot rattles around, no good. Whitehead Jr. on the season, 79.5% from the free throw line.
He's taken a bit of a downtick in the last couple of games. It was well over 80% for most of the season. The last 2 or 3 games, he's really he's been struggling from the free throw line.
Second shot by Whitehead, up and good. 10-point lead here with about 1 minute and 45 and counting remaining in the first half. As Iadamore brings it up for the Griffins, kicks it to Curtis, or to Ortiz, who hands it back to Curtis. Mice on the dribble drive, kicks it out to Ortiz, thought about the 3, gives it to Brewer, guarded by Moy, over to Iadamore. Great ball movement by the Griffins, back to Mice. Gets the screen from Curtis, trying to make a move on Hannah. Has to kick it back out to Iadamore. Shot clock winding down, able to get it off Iadamore. Shot no good. Rebounded by Dalman Alexander.
And again, it was great ball movement by the Vulcans, but Whitehead in transition for 3.
The Dawn hits the 3, extending the lead to 13 with the final minute ticking down here in the Convocation Center of the first half. Mice trying to make some moves, decides to pull up from 3, off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Moy.
And to go back to my last point, it was some good ball movement by the Vulcans as California is going to take a timeout. It was a good ball movement by the Griffins, but California was really able to match them every step of the way. Just every single point, the Vulcans were engaged on defense, able to stay in front of their men and force a bad shot at the end of the shot clock. And California capitalized on that with getting a quick bucket on the other end, and they're going to get at least one more shot off here at the end of the half.
As there's 44.8 seconds, or maybe on the clock as you can see at home for those watching, about 45 seconds remaining. 40-27, California up at the half, looking to extend their lead into halftime, looking to go 2-0 against Seton Hill and continue their streak of 11 or 12 games around there against Seton Hill, all coming off as victories.
Yeah, win today would make it 12 in a row. Like I mentioned, they have not lost a game to Seton Hill since I was still in high school. It's been...
I would have still been in high school as well.
It was six years. 2019 was the last time Seton Hill was able to get a victory against California.
Quick pull-up by the Dawn. No good. A good rebound by Curtis. Curtis will take it up the court. Few second difference between the shot clock and the game clock, so they still have to get a shot up before the end of the half. Iadamore working against Whitehead. Able to create a little bit of space. About 3 second difference. Iadamore just going to push it to last shot. Quick pull up for 3. No good. Rebounded by Hannah, and they're just going to let it go. As Pollock actually lets it fly off the side of the rim. No good. And that is the score at halftime. Your score, California 40, Seton Hill University 27. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to CUTV, CUTV Sports 1, the PSAC Digital Network, and 91.9 FM WCAL.
Sports fans, we cheer on our favorite teams at fields, gyms, arenas, and stadiums. But have you ever wondered what it's like to be a referee? Verbal abuse from fans, parents, and coaches is the #1 reason why many referees are walking away. And they're not being replaced quickly enough by new ones. So put yourself in the official shoes, act with respect, and be officially human.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Convocation Center here for second half action. California finds himself at a 13-point lead, 40-27, up over the Seton Hill Griffins. It's been a decent first half. Hunter Garman joined with me by John Seton. We've had a good first half.
Yeah, it was a great first half by the Vulcans on the offensive side and defensive side of the ball. They shot 50% from the field, a little under 40% from three. They really were able to knock down their shots. And again, like I keep mentioning, that's how you're going to beat a team that runs a zone like this. You've got to be able to knock down your shots. And when you're knocking them down at a 50% clip, you're going to win the game more often than not. But also, quick shout out in the NBA realm, Jimmy Butler just got traded to the Golden State Warriors. So there was Butler linking up with Steph Curry, Draymond Green. That's going to be some absolute cinema of basketball in the Bay Area. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting. I saw that during halftime. At least one of our good friends over at WCAL, DJ Mafia, sent me the notification, the Twitter notice, and it's definitely interesting there. But back to here in Division II basketball realm, California, as we said, great first half to start. I mean, Cam Pollock with 10 points, Jordan Buchanan with 7, already at 8 rebounds as well. Donald Whitehead Jr. at 9 points, Dalman Alexander at 8, and Caden Hanna at 6. Duncan Moy and Eli Brooks yet to find themselves some points, but it's still early. Obviously, the second half is just about to start, so I'm sure they'll get some points on the board.
And again, like we talked about, the Vulcan bench being pretty light today, the starters are going to have to play some big minutes. Whitehead and Pollock played the full 20, the rest of them getting a break here or there, but the starters have been able to stand the course. They well conditioning, well trained. They've been able to play great basketball all the way through. Hopefully in the second half they're able to hold up.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those tales to see as the game goes on, and we are underway here in the second half as Mice gets the inbound from Ortiz, kicks it over to Curtis, drives in, kicks it back out to Ortiz, thought about the three, loses it for a second, able to pick it up and dish it to Mice. Mice makes a move, dribbles in, kicks it back out to Brewer. Brewer tries to pull up, rebounds, bobbled around, no good. Looked like a little bit of contact there as Pollock clutches his face for a moment, but able to collect himself and get back on offense.
Yeah, just some accidental contact on the drive to the lane. They're going to call Caden Hanna for the moving screen. And in the last couple of games, we've seen an uptick in those calls from California. We saw Hanna called for a couple of them against IUP, against Gannon. We saw Alexander with the same thing. California has struggled at setting these screens at the top of the key, just trying to get people free. I'm not a rapper.
Inbound to Mice. Kicks it over to Curtis. Back to Mice. Trying to get that ball movement going that they had in the first half. Over to Mice on the far side, elbow. Works down low, gives it to Giuseppe. Layup, no good. Rebounded by Hanna.
Just a blown layup. That's a basket you need to make every single time. Gillespie able to get into the lane. Nice, strong drive, but just didn't quite have the finishing touches.
Long high pass to Alexander. Hands off to Buchanan. Step back. Long two, they're going to say. No good. Rebound bobbled around, eventually picked up by Giuseppe, who gets it over to Brewer, working against Whitehead. Down low to Curtis. The contact. I believe they're going to get Hanna on that. That's going to be his third foul already. And Curtis is going to go to the line for 2.
And that time, Seton Hill able to move very quickly from defense to offense. Great transition that time. And with a two-on-one opportunity, you just have to do your best. And Hanna forces the lob attempt in. Has to foul Curtis, but like you mentioned, he's going to pick up his third. And I think the Vulcans are going to let him stay out there until he picks up at least one more. But this is an opportunity for Seton Hill to try to exploit.
First shot by Curtis off the back of the iron, too strong and no good. Again, Curtis coming into this game, shooting about 73.5% on the season. As Caden Hanna will come out and Duncan Moy will come back in as Whitehead and Buchanan switch sides. Second shot by Curtis. Off the side of the rim, no good, misses both. Rebounded by Buchanan. Whitehead over to Buchanan. Kicks it down low to Alexander, who's going to drive in against Ortiz. Layup up and good.
And that time Alexander just so quick, able to just blow by Ortiz and able to get great positioning inside, and you're not going to get an easier finish than that.
Ortiz working against two defenders, able to get the layup up and good.
He was able to get Alexander to bite on the first attempt, and as the ball was just like spinning away, they blew the whistle because the ball was not nearby. It started to trail away, so they made sure the clock was stopped until the ball was back in possession.
Whitehead kicks it over to Pollock to Alexander in the middle. Alexander, quick dribble, gives it to Buchanan. Buchanan kicks it back out to Whitehead. Whitehead gets the screen from Alexander. Tries to get it to him, no good. Moy's going to pull up for three off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Ortiz.
And again, when you just, the Vulcans that time offensively just not able to move the ball quickly, and Seton Hill able to get set defensively in their zones and force a tough shot at the top of the key from Moy.
Curtis is going to try for three, no good. They're going to say that ball went off the hands of Buchanan, and it's going to stay Griffin ball. As a new sub comes in for the Griffins, that's number 7, Casper Martinson.
Freshman from Stockholm, Sweden. A couple of international boys here for Seton Hill today.
And they're going to get a charge there as Dalman Alexander hits the court, takes the contact, draws the foul.
And we've seen that a couple of times. Curtis specifically really just looking to lower the shoulder, and you see Alexander plant his feet very nicely, takes the brunt of the force straight to the chest and falls down for the charge.
Pollock on the drive in, loses it for a moment, but they're going to call him on the travel as he still was able to have enough possession for them to deem it a travel. As Coach Sankum not the happiest with that decision.
California a little sloppy to start the second half. 1 for 3 from the field, a couple of turnovers as well, and just looking to get that offensive groove back.
Mice over to Curtis. Gets the screen from Brewer. Working against Pollock. Down low. Foul called. They're going to get Buchanan on that foul. It's going to be Buchanan's third.
And again, when you're able to get good positioning in and around the basket, it's going to be really hard to prevent any sort of shot. And that time Buchanan just got caught behind and just got caught with his hands up against Curtis. And like you said, that's a couple of Vulcans now on 3 fouls.
So Curtis makes the first as Iadamore and Skleventis come back in for the Griffins. We've seen them in the first half.
To point out as well, Buchanan 3 points away from a double-double. 7 points, 10 rebounds already.
It's assuming he can stay in and stay out of foul trouble as Curtis makes the second one. Whitehead now up the court, gives it to Pollock, back to Whitehead, over to Buchanan. Buchanan trying to make some things, finds Pollock, he was able to stay in bounds, makes a nice move. Pull up, tried to draw the foul, no good. Rebounded by Skleventis, but actually some contact will be called. It's going to be a foul on Skleventis, I believe, as Buchanan tried to go for the rebound, hits the deck.
Yeah, Pollock able to just walk the tightrope on the near side corner, and Whitehead was able to steal that one away, and so him and Skleventis were fighting for that loose ball, and they're going to get Skleventis for getting his hands on Whitehead, and that's going to be the team's second.
It's also Skleventis' second of the game. Moy, working against Skleventis, takes it in himself, layup up off the glass, good.
And even though the made basket coach saying I'm not happy, Moy took a ton of contact as he was able to just scoop that one up with the right hand.
Skleventis working against Pollock, tries to get down low into the paint. They're going to pull up there by Iadamore. No good. Rebounded by Jordan Buchanan. Gets his 11th rebound. Whitehead kicks it out to Pollock. Over to Buchanan in the corner for 3. Counted. It's good. Jordan Buchanan gets his 10 points. And just like that, Jordan Buchanan had a double-double.
Yeah, give him the double-double. Repositioned so well, just quickly, just shifting through in and around behind the arc and just able to find some space in that corner.
Skleventis has that one stolen away by Pollock. Gives to Moy, who's going to take it himself coast to coast. Duncan Moy.
And the Vulcans steal away the inbounds pass. Seton Hill just trying to go too quickly.
Whitehead for three from the corner, counted, Donald Whitehead, and just like that, the Griffins, I believe, will call a timeout, talk things over.
Starting to get away from him. That's 3 straight possessions back to back to back, just down the court. The Vulcans firing on all cylinders, and that's just a 7-0 run, and very quickly. So Coach Wilkins and the Griffins will take a timeout.
As we can see on the screen, we're going to take another look at the PSAC West standings. Seton Hill finds himself nearly at the bottom with California at 3, but as you said before, only a 3-game gap between some of these teams, and it's going to be interesting to see how these next few weeks play out here as the PSAC gauntlet comes to an end within the next few weeks.
Yeah, Seton Hill's 6-6 this season in the conference, or excuse me, 6-8. But if they got a win today, they could switch. They can switch places with California. They can move up to 7-8. California would drop to 7-8. They can essentially switch spots between third and second to last. I mean, that's how close the PSAC West is every team within a game or two of each other. So every single game as the season goes on and on continues to become more and more important.
And with the standings, every game counts. That means every point counts, every foul counts, every aspect really of each game counts. Every rebound, every assist, every point. As the gauntlet finishes within the next few weeks, California will go to Slippery Rock next week. Seton Hill, not sure what their next opponent is. I can search it up here while we have the moment. We're coming out of the break, or of the media timeout, or media length timeout. California finds himself up 21-52-31.
Seton Hill's next opponent this Saturday, they will take on the Clarion Golden Eagles up in Clarion before hosting IUP next Wednesday.
It's going to be an interesting play out here for the Griffins as well if they can try and come back from this, get the win at Clarion, then go to IUP on a 2-game win streak. Like I said, if they can come back here and take down the Vulcans.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. 2 games ago against UPJ, they lost in double overtime.
Well, overtime is that take no good. A lot of contact, but no whistle. As Curtis on the take, no good. Rebounded. Nice strong rebound by Brooks. Gives it to Whitehead now up the court. Over to Moy, back to Whitehead. Over to Alexander. Quick jump pass to Whitehead. Whitehead. Long pass to try and get it to Brooks, but that one sails out of bounds. And Giuseppe will come back in for the Griffins, and that's going to be immediate timeout.
Yeah, Brooks is 6'7", but even that one was a little bit too high for him. And while we were a second, make sure to check out. I cannot talk today. It's been a rough one. Check out the Danny Sankum Show. Put it right here on CUTV. Check it out on the CUTV YouTube channel. You can check it out on Armstrong Cablecast if you have it available, or you can listen to it anywhere podcasts are available, Apple, Spotify, you name it. Check out the Danny Sankum Show right here from CUTV.
Always a pleasure having Coach Sankum in the studio for the Danny Sankum Show. I believe Matt Kiefer is also there to talk with Coach about previous games, some stats, upcoming games, and any news that he may have regarding the team. And as we keep saying every week, but it's true, it's always so different with Coach Sankum. You see him out here on the court animated if things don't go his way or anything like that, but then also you get to the Coach Sankum Show and it's like, am I even really looking at or listening to the same person?
Yeah, he's one of the best qualities about that is you're able to get your team fired up on the court. It's always nice to have that calm presence, like behind the scenes, behind the demeanor, behind the mask, but on the court, you got to get your team fired up. You got to get them invested in the game, and having someone like him at the helm has proved to be one of the best decisions here the Vulcans have made. He's been one of the best coaches in the PSAC for a long while now, ever since he's joined in, and again, he's done wonders to this Vulcan team and has turned them into a consistent powerhouse here in the PSAC West.
Coach Sankum, as we said, in his 7th season now as the Vulcan head coach, looking to continue the run that they've been having now on a 2-game win streak, looking to make it 3 here in the Convo Center.
They're on a 10-0 run in the last 2 minutes.
Brewer kicks it over to Iadamore. Gets the screen from Belade. tries to get it to him, but it's going to be out of bounds. I believe they're going to say it's off of Belade, and it'll be a turnover in favor of the Vulcans.
And this is where the Vulcans are really at their best. We know they can score the basketball. They have proved that time and time again over the years, but whenever they're actively engaged defensively, when they're forcing teams into mistake after mistake, that's turnover number 13 on the afternoon for Seton Hill. They've really forced Seton Hill into a ton of mistakes in this game, and they've been able to capitalize on them.
Whitehead gets to Pollock on the near side, trying to make some moves to create some separation. Spins away, tries to get to Whitehead, able to corral it, and the floater up and good. Donald Whitehead Jr.
Pollock that time in a bit of trouble, but great cut and great read that time by Whitehead. Just able to come to his aid, able to just drive baseline and leave that floater in.
Foul will be called. I believe that's going to be on Duncan Moy. That's his first, team's fourth of the half. Don't want to give up too many fouls if you're California, as we said before many times, the bench is a little bit shallow today. Mice to inbound, gets to Ortiz, back to Mice. Switched off, working against Brooks, gets it down low to Giuseppe, he's going to get the blocking foul against Dalman Alexander.
The difference that time in the last couple that we've seen Alexander take is he couldn't quite get his feet set in time. You saw 1 foot down, the second foot was trying to get down as he was taking the contact, and it's going to be a blocking foul against him. That's going to be his first. And the player who we normally see in a ton of foul trouble consistently for the Vulcans, you see him pick up 2-3 quick fouls early in the game, and you see him out for a long while. He's been able to keep himself pretty clean, only the one foul.
As that first shot by Giuseppe is up and good. Giuseppe on the season coming into this game, 37 of 54, so about 68.5% from the free throw line as he misses that one, and that one sails out of bounds off the hands of Brewer.
Yeah, Brewer wasn't fooling anyone that time. He really tried to fight for his case. He's signaling Seton Hill basketball, but like you mentioned, able to crash the glass, just unable to keep that one in play, but keeping track at home. Today, 18 fouls combined. We're well under the mark from Saturday's contest.
Yeah. Whitehead able to get it past the timestamp here. Moy down low to Pollock. Thought about the quick shot. Loses it for a moment. Able to haul it back in. No-look pass over to Donald Whitehead. Tries to get it to Moy. Loses it there. Picked up by Brewer. Brewer now gives it to Curtis on the take-up. And Dalman Alexander will draw the foul. And it'll be an and one.
And again, the Vulcans getting a little bit too fancy. We see them playing with reckless abandon sometimes, and sometimes it works really well. You see them with these high-flying offensive attacks, but that time, just a couple of sloppy plays, the turnover, and Alexander not even doing a great job at contesting the shot. You saw him just attacking the body straight away, and that's going to be a foul every single time, and a great job by Curtis for being able to finish around the rim.
Caden Hanna comes back in for the Vulcans. Curtis' second shot rattles around, no good. Rebounded by Alexander. 20-point game here with 13:30 remaining in the second half. Should believe the scoreboard in the Convocation Center is a bit off. Hanna drives the baseline, kicks it back out to Moy. Back to Pollock, who's going to pull the trigger on three. No good. Rebounded by Alexander. A good strong rebound as Whitehead's going to try for three. No good. Rebound fought for and picked up eventually by Brewer.
Yeah, some tough misses by the Vulcans. You don't really see Pollock or Whitehead miss by that big of margins. And again, like a nice strong rebound offensively. We've seen it a couple times from Alexander already.
Mice is going to pull back for three. No good. Nice strong rebound by Dalman Alexander. As we said, the scoreboard in here in the Convocation Center is a little bit off, but it should read on your screens 54-35, actually. So a 19-point game. Whitehead to Pollock. Quick pull-up jumper from Hanna from mid-range. Gets it to go.
And again, that's where you're going to find the soft spots in the zone or in and around that elbow. And the Vulcans quick passing, like just some one-touch passing, bounce pass to Hanna. And Hanna able to turn around and able to knock down the mid-range jumper.
Curtis working inside, takes the contact. That's Caden Hanna, but no whistle called, and the layup is good.
Yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't a foul called that time as it seemed like Hannah had his hands all over Curtis. And again, Curtis is so strong once he gets to a runway at the basket. It's really hard to stop him.
Quick pull-up jumper there from Whitehead. No good. Way too strong. Rebounded by Curtis. Keeps his eyes up court, looking down low. Finds Gilseppi. Back out to Iadamore. Gets Alexander to bite, but doesn't take the shot. Now working inside. Over to Curtis. Back to Brewer on the near side. Looks down low. Gets to Curtis. Nice move inside. Mice for three. Rattles around. No good. Rebounded by Alexander. Fought for. Foul will be called, and that's going to be on Brewer. And that's going to send us to, I believe, the 12-minute media. We're going to take a commercial break. You're listening to CTV Sports 1, the PSAC Digital Network, and 91.9 FM, WCAL.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates the athletic and academic excellence of its student athletes. Last year, over 4,000 achieved at least a 3.25 GPA to earn recognition as a PSAC Scholar Athlete. Athletically, over 70 PSAC teams qualified for the NCAA championships. Champions on the field, champions in the classroom, making the PSAC proud.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Convocation Center. 11:32 remaining in the second half of this game. California finds himself up 20 over the Seton Hill Griffins. Hunter Grumman again joined with me by John Sape. And so far, it's been pretty decent basketball. Second half, though, has been a little bit on the little bit of a toss-up.
Yeah, California still getting the better edge of Seton Hill. The Griffins only shooting 25% from the field this half, 0 for 4 from 3 as well. The Vulcan defense, like I said, we know they can score offensively, but whenever they're really able to step up on the defensive side of the ball, that's when you start to see them playing at this elite level. But I was taking a look at the schedule, the upcoming schedule for both teams. Seton Hill really got the short end of the stick on the draw. 4 out of their last 6 games away from home here against California. Saturday against Clarion. They host IUP next Wednesday. They're at Edinburgh, home against UPJ, and then they finish off with one final away game at Gannon. So they really are on the road for the back half of the season.
The Griffins showing some heavy press. The Vulcans able to break it and slow things down. You can imagine that this point of the game, Coach Senka might just try and slow down the tempo, still put some points on the board, but slow things down and try and limit the fancy but sometimes sloppy play. As they're going to get Kate and Hannah on travel. It's going to be yet another turnover for this Vulcan team.
Yeah, and flipping over to the Vulcans' remaining schedule, 2 away games after the 3-game homestand. Slippery Rock, Clarion next Wednesday. Then they host UPJ here on the 19th before traveling to IUP on the 26th, and they finish the game here against
that 3-ball there, no good. Rebounded by Alexander.
Finish against Edinburgh. As I was trying to say it, Gary Smith, our producer, was trying. There was the fix, the scoreboard and the live stats now matching up.
Cam Pollock tries the 3-ball. No good again. Too strong there from Cam Pollock. Iadamore at the top of the key. Over to Mice on the near side. Gets the screen from Ortiz. Makes a little bit of a move. Dribbles inside. I also can't talk today as Iadamore drives in. 3-ball from Ortiz. Counted. It's good.
Yeah, and it all starts a couple of really bad misses from the Vulcans in the last couple of offensive possessions. You saw Whitehead and then Pollock just really, really strong misses, and Seton Hill able to capitalize.
Pollock thought about the trigger there, but Mice able to get within some coverage to convince Pollock otherwise. Low pass to Alexander, who's going to step back, contested to, no good. Rebounded by Iadamore, who's going to push it to Mice. Brings up the court. Long 3-ball off the side of the rim, no good. Nice rebound by Ortiz, able to tip it to himself. Keep the ball in play for the Griffins as Iadamore makes a move, cuts in. Mice from the corner, counted, it's good. Ryan Mice.
You can't give him too many cracks at it because he will knock him down from behind the arc. 1 for 6 now from 3, but That's an 8-0 Seton Hill run. They've really started to apply the pressure to California as Whitehead hits the deck, and that's going to be a travel.
Coach Sankum not exactly the happiest with that, and I would say that the crowd isn't exactly either, as it looked to be a little bit more contact than most people wanted, but they will call a travel, and some subs will come in for both teams.
And the Vulcans, again, just struggling offensively. Scoreless in their last 3 minutes, 1 for their last 6 from the field. It just seems like Seton Hill's been able to apply some pressure. They've forced California into mistakes, and when they've been able to avoid the pressure, get into the half court, try to run the offense, they have not been able to get off good shots.
Iadamore now gives it to Brewer. Brewer back to Iadamore. Mice down low to Ortiz, makes a nice move, has to kick it back out, but they're going to call Ortiz for a travel after a few too many steps.
And that time Ortiz had some good positioning inside, but again, if it looks like a good move, it's probably too good to be true, and again just took an extra step after he picked up his dribble.
Alexander able to get it back to Pollock as the Vulcans are able to get up the court, but a foul will be called. I believe they're going to get Camden Brewer on the off-ball foul. That's his second, team's fourth of the half.
Yeah, when you're in such a deficit like this, 14 points, you Seton Hill looking to make the adjustment of just applying full-on pressure, just trying to force mistake after mistake from California. And so far, the last few possessions, they've done so, but California just need to steady the ship offensively.
Whitehead drives the baseline, gives it to Alexander, who slams it home.
Yeah, great dish that time by Whitehead. Just lays it on a silver platter to Alexander, and he's able to slam it home. 14 points now, or 12 points, excuse me, for Alexander.
Ortiz left all alone kind of in the middle, able to, luckily for the Vulcans, miss his shot, rebounded by California. Whitehead at the top now, going to slow things down and try and get the momentum shift back in their favor. Buchanan back to Whitehead, over to Pollock, down low to Hanna. Quick turnaround jumper, counted, it's good. Caden Hanna with a clean move.
And that's another spot in this defensive zone where you see a little bit of space is in and around the baseline, and that time Hanna, great job at just quickly and confidently taking that turnaround jumper.
Giuseppe back to Brewer, gets Buchanan to bite on the three, step back, pulls it from three, no good, in and out, rebounded by Hanna, and they're going to give it to Whitehead to slow things down.
Yeah, that would have been a big momentum shift if Seton Hill was able to knock that down. I wouldn't have been surprised if Coach Wilkins calls a timeout after they make that three, as they can cut it to 15 and just really start to turn up the pressure against California.
California again trying to work that baseline as trying to find some open players, as Pollock able to drive inside. Layup up, no good. Rebounded by Curtis, who kicks it wide to Mice. Mice, who's going to pull up for three. Count it, it's good. Ryan Mice for three.
Yeah, Pollock really struggling today. 3 for 12 from the field. He has 10 points. He has 7 assists. He's really been able to facilitate, but scoring the basketball, which is something that we normally see Cam Pollock do and do extremely well, has just not been there tonight. It's been one of the off nights for Cam Pollock today.
Quick inside dish to Whitehead with a quick mid-range two, up and good.
And that's been the other side of the coin, is he hasn't been able to score the ball that well, but that's 8 assists now. The Vulcan team has really been able to pick up. They've been very efficient in knocking down their shots, and Whitehead able to get another basket there.
Ortiz pushing inside, working against Alexander. Layup no good, rebounded by Buchanan. He's just going to give it to Whitehead again. Slowing things down here, some subs waiting on the sideline to come in. Pollock back to Whitehead. Over to Buchanan, gets it down low to Hanna. Over to Whitehead. On the take, working against Ortiz, able to get up underneath.
He's just so quick once he has possession of the basketball. That time just able to blow by Ortiz, and even though Ortiz, 6'9", has a long wingspan, just unable to contest.
Mice for three, no good. Rebound bobbled around, picked up eventually by Alexander, I believe. Given to Whitehead. Then Seton Hill looking for some points, as they haven't been able to get a few shots to fall, as California's 4 for 5 of their last 5. Whitehead over to Hanna, who's going to pull up for three. No good. Rebounded by Curtis. Curtis up the court now for the Griffins. Gives it to Brewer, who makes a move on Hanna. Loses it for a moment. Able to get it back to Curtis, who's going to try for three himself. No good. Rebounded by Hanna. Gives it to Whitehead again. Slowing things down here.
I'm in no room to judge, but that is one strange-looking jump shot from Curtis. Just really, really odd form, but he's been great so far tonight.
Whitehead for 3, no good. Rebounded by Curtis. Still has that presence underneath the net. As Mice makes a move, working against Polak. Kicks it down low to Giuseppe. Working against Buchanan, trying to get underneath. Able to get up. Dish in, no good. Rolls out. Picked up by Buchanan.
That's rebound number 14 for Buchanan tonight. Him and Alexander combined have 23 rebounds. Seton Hill as a team have 26.
And now that foul is going to go against Brewer. That'll be the team's 5th, his 3rd. And it's going to be a media timeout.
It's now time to announce our B Graphics fan of the game. Congratulations to Malik.
We're going to keep it here, and one thing that we always have graphics-wise is making sure to follow Cal Vulcans athletics at calvulcans.com, and our good friend Matthew Kiefer, our sports information
director.
Sports information director. As you can see now up on the screen, the game on the 8th, just before the Super Bowl on the 9th, Sunday, 1 and 3 p.m. California
at Slippery Rock.
At Slippery Rock. Can't find my words here. We will not unfortunately be there, but it will be live on the PSAC Digital Network, so you still can watch it if you go over there. As we said again, make sure to follow Cal Vulcan Athletics on social media, and 2 at calvulcans.com. Our sports information director, Matthew Kiefer, good friend of ours here, handles all that, and he's good at what he does.
And again, another game that's huge for California. Slippery Rock plays just below them in 3rd place in the PSAC West. So another game, if the Vulcans are able to hold on and win this one against Seton Hill, a game that can decide between the 2nd and 3rd seed, and again, such a tightly contested PSAC West. Every game matters, and a game against the Rock where the Vulcans were already able to get one victory against them this season here at home a couple of weeks ago, early on in January, but they're just looking to hold off the Rock. And I remember last year, the trip up to Slippery Rock, that was one of the lone games California lost all season, and was just a absolute just barn burner of a game. Slippery Rock was really able to just take it to California and able to get a big win up at the Rock.
Inbound to the Donald Whitehead, looking to just kind of really milk this clock for all it's worth. Some quick movements to Hannah at the elbow. Gives it to Whitehead, who's going to drive in. Pull it back out, and has that stolen away by Curtis. Curtis now working against Hannah, has it poked away. It's going to stay Seton Hill ball, but Hannah able to save the easy bucket and allow his team to get back on defense.
Yeah, I think Hannah saw what Curtis was going to do. He was going to try to come back in with the on to the left, but great recovery defense that time by Hannah. Just poked that one out.
Inbound gets to Curtis. Back to Mice. Working against Hannah. Kicks it back out to Iadamore. I'm going to call a foul on Iadamore, I believe.
I believe they're going to get Gillespie for the moving screen. That's going to be his 4th foul. And again, we've seen that a couple of times this game already. Caden Hannah had one earlier on. Gillespie will pick up his 4th, as these teams just trying to create some space for their shooters, just unable to plant their feet on these screens.
Eli Brooks is in the game for California now, as well as a newcomer for Seton Hill for this game, Carter Anderson, number 25. Again, California just looking to milk this clock for all they possibly can. Down low to Brooks, who's right there, tries the jam, but is just going to put it up off the glass instead.
And Seton Hill getting a little bit too antsy, just trying to crash out towards the three-point line, and left Brooks wide open underneath.
Iadamore over to Mice. Gets the screen from Curtis. He's going to pull up for 3. Counted, it's good. A clean 3 ball by Ryan Mice.
And Mice, one of the best shooters in the PSAC, and again, you just cannot leave him open on the season, shooting 37% from 3, 68 for 183 attempts on the year. If you give him enough space, he's going to shoot. And
California up 18 now. Again, looking to just try and milk this clock for all it's worth. Able to find Hannah down low, up off the glass. No good. Rebounded by Curtis. Curtis is going to push it up the court for the Griffins. Gives it to Giuseppe, who has it blocked away, and a foul will be called on Curtis. That's going to be his third, team's 7th.
And that's some great recovery defense once again by Caden Hanna, able to get back in transition, block that shot away. Cam Pollock able to pull in the rebound and draws the foul.
And that's going to be the 4-minute media timeout. We're going to take a commercial break right here on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates the athletic and academic excellence of its student athletes. Last year, over 4,000 achieved at least a 3.25 GPA to earn recognition as a PSAC Scholar Athlete. Athletically, over 70 PSAC teams qualified for the NCAA championships. Champions on the field, champions in the classroom, making the PSAC proud.
Welcome back to the Convocation Center. The final 2 minutes, 51 seconds and counting. Well, clock hasn't started yet, but California finds himself at an 18-point lead here up over the Seton Hill Griffins, and so far it's been mainly California for most of this game.
The Vulcans, again, I'm impressed. They've really stepped it up defensively in this game. 48 points in a game in Division II basketball is nothing to scoff. They've really held Seton Hill down. 19 for 52 from the field. That's 36.5%. 6 for 22 from 3. That's 27.3%. California has really done a phenomenal job defensively, and that coincides with some good offense. And if you're able to knock down most of your shots and hold the team down, hold the other team down to missing almost all of their shots, again, you're going to win basketball games more often than not. It sounds easy, but it sounds simple, but that's just how it is.
Cam Pollock able to knock down both his foul shots because they find themselves in the bonus after that foul from Brewer before the media timeout. As Iadamore kicks it over to Anderson. Anderson thought about the 3, working against Whitehead. Trying to work his way down low. Whitehead showing great defense. Meese, who's going to pull up for 3. Ryan Mice, count it. Didn't mean to say Meese, meant to say Mice.
And again, it's just if you give him enough space, he's going to knock down the shots, but it's something you wish, if you were a Seton Hill fan, that you would have seen much earlier in this game. Is it's a 17-point game with a little over 2 minutes left. It's kind of on that verge of too little, too late, as you've seen him knock down a couple of threes in the second half.
That foul's going to go against Ryan Mice. That's his first, team's 8th. Donald Whitehead will go to the line for 1-1.
It's been an all-around performance for the Vulcans today. Whitehead leading the charge, 18 points for him, 4 assists, 2 steals as well.
First shot up by Whitehead is good. And the other thing you got to keep in mind, too, with this Vulcan team, putting on a good performance here in the Convocation Center with only 7 players in rotation.
Yeah, the top 5, for the 5 starters for California, all in double digits. 20 points now for Whitehead, 12 points for Alexander, 12 points for Pollock, 10 points for Buchanan, 10 points for Hanna. Like I said, it's really been, we've seen in the last couple of games, it's one person takes over for California and the rest of them kind of follow suit. And this one, it's been a real all-out team performance from the Vulcans.
Giuseppe working inside against Brooks, trying to get something going here. Brooks showing excellent defense. Contact will be called, and Giuseppe will go to the line for 2.
Again, that time Gillespie just a great job inside, just trying to back down Brooks. And when you're just so close to the basket, it's really hard to contest a shot. And that time Brooks just got caught with the foul, and that's going to be the team's 7th.
Eli Brooks is first, so has a couple more to give. Some subs coming in now as we see a new face for the Vulcans. We don't see too much. Number 33, Asim Gunther, coming in place of Donald Whitehead. I believe his night will be over.
Yeah, we saw Gunther get a lot of play when Whitehead was out earlier this season, but just one of these rotational guards, and in a game like this where you're up by 17 points with 2 minutes left, just give Gunther, the sophomore out of West Philadelphia, an opportunity to take control of the Vulcan offense here in the last couple of minutes and just try to run some plays and play some efficient basketball.
You can also see a couple of backups in for Seton Hill. Brooks on the take, doesn't get it, put back, good, no good, but foul will be called, and Brooks will go to the line for 2.
And that's something that you're really looking to see out of the Vulcans in the last couple of minutes is the effort. When you're up by so much, it's really easy to kind of just start to take the foot off the gas and really just kind of let the game wind down. But the Vulcans, they don't have a propensity to do that. They're really willing to just go all out until the final whistle. And that time, great effort by Brooks as he able to fight for the offensive board. And a substitution comes in for the Vulcans. Ibrahim Touré, the freshman from Lanham, Maryland, will make his first appearance of the game.
He'll come in for Caden Hanna. I believe that's going to be Hannah's night done as Brooks knocks down both foul shots. That's number 3, Garcia Square. Hands it off. That's Noah Wright at the top. Now back to Brandon Corey. Corey loses it. It's going to be off of his knee and in favor of California. There's a whole roster change, so trying to find the numbers to the names is a little bit of a pain. But
it doesn't help that Seton Hill has over 20 people on the roster as well. They really have a loaded team.
Nice take there by Gunther. Showing off some of his moves and skill set with a nice take in. Great ball movement by the Griffins on the take inside. Has to dish it out, but it's going to say that Gunther hit it on the baseline. It's going to be a turnover in favor of the Griffins.
Yeah, unfortunate as that ball just floated right to Gunther, and as he got a hand on it, it bounces on the baseline out of bounds.
Aaron Garcia Square to inbound for the Griffins. Inbound gets it to Hutchinson. Now back over to Noah Wright. Wright makes a move. Back to Hutchinson, who's going to try for 3. No good. Rebounded right to Gunther, almost as if it was a pass. And they're just going to play this one out until the shot clock is over, probably. Buchanan over to Gunther. Gunther to Touré, who's going to try for 3. In and out, no good. Bench really wanted that one to go in.
Yeah, Touré doesn't get a lot of minutes for the Vulcans, but when you get him in the court, or when you get him on the court, the entire team really wants him to ball out. And like you said, you saw him pull up for 3, and the entire Vulcan bench was on their feet hoping that one went in.
And with that, the Vulcans will take down the win, 74-53. They're just going to let this one run out. Vulcans putting on an absolute show. They have the 3-win streak here and will move to 12-0 in the last 12 games versus Seton Hill. Any final thoughts, Dave?
Great game on both ends for the Vulcans. Real all-team display and another big win that the Vulcans really needed.
February 8th will be the next game. The Vulcans will head to Slippery Rock. Again, Hunter Garman joined with me by John Sape. Thank you, California, and have a great night.